sweet.
WJHG TV, Channel 7, Panama City.
This is the 5 o'clock edition of TV7 News with Joe Moore. Tom McGinnis, sports. And weather with Kurt Clyett.
Good afternoon. And the top of the news at 5 o'clock. A traffic accident late yesterday afternoon left one person dead and 6 others injured, one of them critically. The accident occurred in South Walton County at the intersection of Highway 98 and US 331. A pickup truck apparently turned into the path of an oncoming car. The driver of the pickup truck, Walter G. Woolry, was not injured in the accident. The car that struck the Pontiac from behind sent Cynthia Gossett and Hampton Sanders of Mary Esther to Humana Hospital in Destin. 3 persons were taken to Humana from a vehicle that was hit when the van crossed over the center line after hitting the Pontiac. The driver of that car, Marvin Baxter of Powder Springs, Georgia, was pronounced dead at the scene. A 4th passenger in Baxter's car, 26-year-old Cynthia Baxter, was taken by Life-Flight helicopter to Pensacola Hospital in Pensacola Baptist Hospital. Charges are pending in that accident, which is still under investigation by the Florida Highway Patrol. Well, Florida Agriculture Commissioner Doyle Connor today assessed the drought situation throughout the Sunshine State. With that and other matters discussed in Tallahassee today, TV7's David Reinhardt.
North Florida farmers face a critical problem if they don't get significant rainfall in the next few weeks. But the problem facing Florida is not as severe as what farmers face in the Midwest. State Agriculture Commissioner Doyle Connor spent an hour on a conference call with other commissioners and federal officials today. The bottom line is that the drought will mean bad news for consumers.
Well, this total drought in the United States is going to be a very drastic impact on the consumer. We've been worried about all these surpluses that we have in the United States. I think today we're thankful for some of them, because if we did not have a carryover of grain and we found ourselves in the predicament we're in today, the consumer wouldn't even be able to begin to pay the prices that the market would demand. So feeding these surpluses into the food supply is a godsend. We worry about those surpluses, but then this is one of the occasions when we're thankful for them.
Farmers in some northwest Florida counties have lost as much as 90% of their corn so far. Cotton and soybeans are also being hurt by the lack of rain. Also in Tallahassee today, Governor Bob Martinez signed an emergency order authorizing the State Department of Professional Regulation to inspect every area of the state's 797 funeral homes. The order results from the finding of more than 70 decomposed bodies earlier this month in a Jacksonville funeral home. The governor says more investigations are in progress.
Storage rooms, offices, hearse, whatever.
Is there somebody else like this out there possible?
Yes, we would have that concern, and of course there's a couple of areas where there's a current investigation taking place, so that that's about all we can say at this time.
I mean, is more funeral homes being investigated?
We are looking into a couple other areas that may give us a reason to have concern, but we have we don't have enough information this time to make a statement on it.
According to Martinez, the state wants to make sure the families of the deceased are certain that their family members' remains are treated with respect. And finally, Florida Tax Watch says state lawmakers outdid themselves in an effort to take home special interest projects for their districts in this an election year. Such projects are commonly referred to as turkeys, so Tax Watch Director Dominic Calabro brought along his own stuffed turkey when he met with reporters. The definition of a turkey is a project that bypasses the normal appropriations process.
What we are now seeing is that tax increase or no tax increase, the legislative process in statesmanship has just deteriorated, and the number of turkeys has increased from 54 to over 90 this year, and the cost of those turkeys are in excess of $150 million.
Tax Watch is encouraging the governor to veto the turkeys and send them back to the farm. David Reinhardt, TV7 News.
A 20-year-old man who was jailed at Enterprise, Alabama last night on a cocaine charge tried to escape twice today. During the second escape attempt, he bit an Enterprise police officer. He now faces cocaine, escape, and assault charges. 20-year-old Darley Lamar Limits of Enterprise tried to walk out of the jail around 6 o'clock this morning when work-release prisoners were leaving. But he was stopped at that time, and he later faked a medical seizure and was taken to a hospital. He bolted and ran from officers then and was then chased on foot for about a half mile before he was finally caught.
The response has been tremendous to the recent savings offered by Cook Whitehead's used car department, and we're going to continue to pass those savings on to you. This 81 Buick LeSabre, $99.95. A beautiful 84 Thunderbird, only $44.95. This 81 Mustang two-door, a low $64.95. And these are just a few of over $1 million inventory in stock at Cook Whitehead Used Cars. They're located at 15th Street in Panama City.
Hi, this is Harmon, Nationwide Health and Fitness. You know, maintaining good health not only is exercising and proper diet, but it's also relieving tension and stress. At Nationwide Spa, we can help you do that in our therapy center. Our hydrotherapy whirlpool bath, our steam room, and our sauna room. We've helped more people relieve tension and stress, also help people with arthritis, bursitis, backaches. Come to Nationwide Spa and let us help you today. That's Nationwide Spa at 23rd and Frankfurt, where we're still having the 50 visits for $50 going on today at Nationwide Spa.
Come to Belk Hudson's store-wide summer clearance sale now in progress. Save up to 75% on all summer merchandise at Belk Hudson in Panama City Square.
A 21-year-old Panama City Beach man has been arrested by sheriff's investigators on 2 counts of lewd, lascivious, or indecent assault or act upon or in the presence of a child. Jailed was Timothy Joe Kirk of the Sand Dunes Apartments, number 502. Sheriff Lavelle Pitts says the charges involve 2 young girls aged 8 and 12 that have been left in the suspect's care. Kirk is being held in the Bay County Jail pending a first appearance in county court tomorrow morning. Well, in this week's movie review, NBC's Arch Campbell says the hottest new movie of the summer may be a cartoon for adults, which the children will like too. Here's Arch.
Hollywood's newest and hottest leading man is a cartoon bunny named Roger, who blasts the widescreen wide open in the new cartoon detective spoof, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Using new techniques that are downright eye-popping, the movie combines cartoon animation with real humans and gets some zany results. Bob Hoskins plays a grizzled, whiskey-slugging private eye hired to follow the sultry Jessica Rabbit, who is making cartoon star Roger Rabbit wild with jealousy. When the head of the studio and Jessica's leading admirer gets bumped off, everybody thinks Roger Rabbit did it. But Bob Hoskins will save Roger from the weasel on his tail.
Hello, boys. I didn't hear you come in.
Okay, wise guy. Where's the rabbit?
Haven't seen him.
What's in there?
My lingerie.
See, Ryan. Search the place, boys, and leave no stone unturned. As for you, Valiant, step out of line and we'll hang you and your laundry out to dry. Come on, boys, let them spread.
They're gone.
See, Passetti, I was thrilled. You saved my life. How can I ever repay you?
For starters, don't ever kiss me again.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit is outrageous, funny, and glorious. It has some of the silliest and most delightful moments I've ever seen in a movie. Bob Hoskins is terrific, and the cameo appearances by Donald Duck, Mickey Mouse, Betty Boop, and every other cartoon character you've ever loved are just exhilarating. Oh, and Roger the Rabbit is nice, too. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? It's the perfect summer movie, a cartoon for adults, worth 4 stars in my book. You're going to love this one. I'm Arch Campbell, and I hope you see something good at the movies.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Are you ready for the 29th annual Go for 600 International Run for the Lettuce? It's a site conservation fundraising project for the Panama City Lions Club, and this year will be telecast live from the 23rd Street Plaza.
That's right, Kurt. On Monday, July the 4th, the Wendy's and the 23rd Street Plaza merchants will bring you the gopher races. Come join us at the plaza for all the action.
Don't miss it Monday, July 4th here on TV 7.
We are family.
The old scramble is on.
Southern Old Family.
Everybody's scrambling to score a low monthly payment from the Southern Olds family. For a limited time, drive Delta 88 and reduce your monthly payment by $68. Drive an Olds 98 and save $83. Scramble to your Olds dealer now and score a low monthly payment. That's what all the excitement's about.
Hopkins, Kendrick Myers, Triangle.
Going on now.
There's no need to wait for a sale at Shavers Fohan Furniture because we save you money every day on living rooms, dining rooms, bedroom furniture, bedding, brassware, plants, and more with free area delivery and setup. Go where the savings are. Shavers Fohan Furniture, 1 mile north of the Panama City Mall on Highway 77 in Panama City. A family tradition since 1918. Shavers Fohan Furniture really is where the savings are.
Come on in today, you won't have to go far to go where the savings are.
Shavers Fohan Furniture.
Come to Treasure Island Marina. Known as one of the South's leading boat dealers, Treasure Island Marina has over $4 million of boat inventory. Authorized dealer for Sea Ray, Sportcraft, and more. Whether you're looking for a sport boat, fishing boat, cruiser, or yacht, Treasure Island Marina has a complete selection. Drive before you buy. Treasure Island Marina, Panama City Beach.
This afternoon, Walden Kirsch closes out our series of reports this week with the story of one of the dullest jobs around, piling tires on a conveyor belt.
Anyone who has spent much time wrestling them around knows that there is nothing elegant or delicate about old tires. The best you can do with old tires is grind them up, and that's what happens here at one of the 2 biggest tire grinding operations in the whole U.S. The guys who grind the tires here earn about $6 an hour and boast a job description 6 words long. Put the tire on the belt. There's no fun, that's it.
Sometimes if we have a situation where we need some extra help, they send out people from the employment office. We've had them 15 minutes, walk out the door.
And this is a fellow who today may be America's leading tire grinder. His boss calls him the human tire machine, guessing that Walt Luchuk has slung 3 million old shot dirty tires in the last 4 years. What keeps you here, Walt?
Oh, I got 7 dependents, so I gotta, gotta keep busy.
Keeping busy isn't tough. Tire trucks roll in here non-stop, every year dumping 25,000 tons worth. After the spent tires arrive, front-end loaders hustle rebuilding a tire mountain for the tire grinding crew and for our friend the human tire machine.
I had a few come down on the hard hat, just walking around, kind of stiff-necked that for a while.
Tire avalanches are not the only hazard at this, the biggest tire dump in the West. There's also the grinding machine itself, loud of course, and alarming. Watch it gulp down a tire whole. The shreddings, by the way, are sold to mills for fuel as a regular product. Today, though, Walt Luchuk, the human tire machine, is trying to catch up on a bigger-than-usual tire backlog. When equipment goes on the fritz, as it did recently, the tire mountain mushrooms fast. Now, the company secretary is losing her view, and Walt Luchuk talks about somehow grinding the size of that tire heap down. He's a realist, though, the human tire machine. He knows that there's just one of him, and there are so many of you. In Portland, Oregon, I'm Walden Kirsch for NBC News.
Boy, that just reeks with excitement, doesn't it? Tom's here with the sports at 5 o'clock, and Mike Tyson, in addition to the upcoming fight, he's got a lot of other things going.
That's right. It seems like the fight is the last thing on his mind. He's certainly got a lot, including commercials. When we come back, we'll talk about his advertising success and introduce you to the Crown Prince of Baseball. Max Patkin is next on TV 7 Sports at 5.
What kind of truck do you want in your garage? One that's ram tough? One that's the heartbeat of America? Or would you rather get yanged by the end with a Japanese truck? No, you want America's best-selling truck, Ford Ranger.
Plus, your Southern City Ford dealers give you more, like $13.90 in option savings, including air conditioning, stereo, and $500 cash back from Ford.
This isn't any old truck. It's a Ford.
And with $13.90 in free options,
Maybe you want two in your garage.
see your Southern City Ford dealers now.
So, you've been shopping for a new sofa and you know what you want. Have you found it? Can you name the only furniture store in Panama City that offers 600 fabrics, 400 styles, factory-fresh furniture in 30 days, free delivery? Well, turn the page. It's all there at the Unfinished Shop. More styles, more fabrics, delivery in only 30 days. Reasonable prices and 90 days is same as cash. The Unfinished Shop, 11 Harrison Avenue, downtown.
TGIF means SOS because you're going to save on Saturday at Cook Whitehead Ford. And here's your SOS reporter with an update.
We're here on location at Cook Whitehead Ford Truck Center to tell you about this week's truck special. Right now, we're offering these beautiful conversion vans with discounts as high as $4,500. Now, these vans are loaded. They're priced as low as $16,991, including the discounts. It's time to save on Saturday at Cook Whitehead Ford.
It's time to SOS. Save on Saturday at Cook Whitehead Ford, Panama City.
Hello again, everybody. The first week of Wimbledon is winding down, and today, Steffi Graf and Yvonne Lendl led the way into the fourth round. It was Graf's toughest match of the year so far, well, of the tourney so far, but she still beats Terry Phelps of the U.S. 6-3 and 6-1 in less than 50 minutes. Steffi won 6 straight games in the second set. After the match, she said she really hasn't had any tough competition so far at Wimbledon. She is the #1 seed seeking the Grand Slam. And countryman and two-time Wimbledon champ Boris Beck had his hands full with Sammy Giammalva of Houston. Becker survived the first set tiebreaker and then came back to take the match 7-6, 6-4, and 6-4 as Becker puts away Giammalva right here at the net. Yvonne Lendl was a winner today, too, but he was pushed to 5 sets by Mikhail Shapers, and Lendl came out the winner. Mike Tyson's bout with Michael Spinks will bring the champion close to $20 million. But under a new deal with Diet Pepsi, the champ could become one of the richest athletes ever, providing, of course, he remains the champ.
Tyson steps into the ring to fight Michael Spinks on Monday night in Atlantic City. More than the World Championship will be at stake. Pepsi Cola is betting millions that Tyson will retain his crown. The soft drink company has produced a series of Diet Pepsi commercials with the champ, including a teaser called The Fight Before the Fight.
Can you tell us anything? Yeah. A couple of pops in the mouth, and it's history.
June 27th, The Fight Before the Fight, sponsored by Diet Pepsi.
On the night of the fight, Pepsi will air a special commercial that shows Tyson as still the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Betting millions on sports stars such as Tyson has been done many times before with mixed results.
The idea of risk advertising in sports is becoming more apparent these days. The growth of this is pretty profound, I think, right now, because the growth is explosive.
This time around, there will be 3 laps to go. With a barefoot Decker falls down. Mary Decker falls down. Sanders out in front. 80 yards.
Is eating tonight? Probably soup.
Action!
If he loses, you'll see a lot of guys scrambling, but we do have ideas what to do about it.
Despite all the pressures before the big fight, Tyson seemed at ease during the Pepsi filming and even took some time during the breaks to sing and dance with the crew members. Tyson did have one prediction before the fight.
I Pepsi only. #1.
According to Las Vegas odds makers, Tyson is favored to win. But while some companies are still waiting to jump into the ring, Pepsi is already betting on a Tyson victory.
One of the greatest shows in baseball is Max Patkin. He's probably performed before more baseball fans than anyone else. And although you won't find his name in any record book, Max Patkin has been clowning around for more than 40 years. Harold Grader has this report on the Crown Prince of Baseball.
75 days each summer, 67-year-old Max Patkin transforms from this into the Crown Prince of Baseball.
The most important thing is the fact that I get kids out there to watch me.
kids and families. That's what I want. I don't want to see those old-timers year after year sitting there with the pillows. They come there, they're going to be there anyway. Some of them are frozen to the seats. And then that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for new faces.
For 42 years, Patkin has been mixing the national pastime with humor and a bit of slapstick. Patkin works his way across the country, bringing smiles to fans off baseball's beaten path.
Damn it, what I'll do for a lousy $5,000.
I was funny in a lot of places, and I died in a few, too, and there isn't a person in show business that can honestly say that he didn't die somewhere along the line, and I'm not ashamed to admit it, and when I'm proudest of the fact that I think my winning percentage is more laughter than frowns.
What do you think of Max? I think he's really funny. He's neat. I've seen him when he's been out here before, but other than out here, I've never seen anything like him.
So as long as baseball's Clown Prince continues his antics, there will be fun at the old ballpark no matter how well your favorite team plays. In Memphis, I'm Harold Grader for NBC News.
Very good article, by the way, about the Crown Prince of Baseball in a recent issue of Sports Illustrated. That's Sports for 5. We'll have more at 6 o'clock. The weather is next.
Hi, folks. Old Tiger has good news for you today. Chevrolet just announced a very special $750 rebate on four-wheel drive S10 pickups and Blazers. In addition to this, some units have special option package discounts of up to $1,100. How about that? Get ready for hunting season now at this special low price. Imagine savings of up to $1,850 on a Chevrolet. It's unheard of. Don't pay more for an import if you drive these high-quality, extra-tough Chevrolets. We've got a bunch.
It's good. I mean good. The steaks are choice and extra thick. We cook 'em right on our hickory pit. Angelo's steak bit. It's good. The service is great, just like the food. You won't get a bump steer here, and that's no rule. Angelo's steak bit. It's good.
You've suffered through all kinds of diets and regimens. But if you don't get enough protein when you're dieting to lose fat, you might lose muscle. Protein can help you keep muscle while you lose fat. And Special K has the highest level of dietary protein available in a cereal. So one reason for including the under 200-calorie Special K breakfast in a balanced diet is rather obvious. Special K. Keep the muscle. Lose the fat.
Here it is, it's Friday, and this is it. As the weather moves for this week, had an interesting week. Started off here, this was Monday, had Tropical Storm Bud along the west coast here of Mexico, and still have this little low-pressure system, still not a tropical depression, however, in the Gulf of Mexico, but small craft advisories have been issued for parts of the western Gulf. Not for us, though. Has to go over to the Mississippi River and then areas located west of the Mississippi. And also have this tropical wave that we'll show you a little closer that so you can see it's starting to make its move across the Atlantic. So the tropics are starting to become fairly interesting. Let's take a closer look at what's been going on here in the Gulf. We'll take you back a couple of days. This is back till Tuesday. Had the remnants here of Tropical Storm Bud, which died out, but then that southerly flow, that flow of moisture on up into our area. And here again, you say today, where the thunderstorms? We'll show you on radar where they are. Again, today it's amazing. They're to the east of us, to the west of us. We just haven't gotten any, although there have been some. I talked to some folks over at Mexico Beach, and they said they had rain 4 days in a row. And here is the current view. You can see where this system is, but there is not an organized center of rotation. Some pretty good-sized tops to it. And right here, right about 27 north, 94 west, it's still a quasi-stationary trough of low pressure. And right now, I checked to see if they anticipate any strengthening of it, and they're really just not sure what's going to happen with it. I wouldn't worry about it. Wouldn't lose too much sleep over it. Don't let it interfere with your weekend plans. But these systems, when they get in the Gulf, it's like a pinball machine. It could just bounce around anywhere, and hopefully it'll just go ahead and die out. And this is the area where the small craft advisories are in effect from Port Arthur, Texas, over to the mouth of the Mississippi River. We've got that pennant up. And just on the edge of your screen, we'll show you a little better view of it. is that other tropical wave that's getting set to enter the eastern Caribbean Sea. Here it is here, and you can see bright white. That means some tall tops associated with it. And just to orient you, of course, back down towards Venezuela, and this is Puerto Rico over to Hispaniola and Cuba. And it's continuing a pretty quick march, marching at about 10 to 15 knots to the west. So, of course, we'll be tracking this throughout the night and on throughout the weekend to see if it gets its act together, and hopefully, of course, it won't. Just taking a look at Gulf water temperatures. This is from a little earlier this month, and actually, according to the latest infrared satellite imagery, it looks like there are a few cool patches in the Gulf. Of course, you need warm water temperatures, which we've got. It is warm enough, but the warmer the water is, the more the tropical storm likes it. So maybe that is one of the reasons that little storm that we have got out in the Gulf hasn't got much of a punch yet. It does have gusts up above 25 knots, so it's not something you want to go right into. You don't want to take your yacht and cruise right on into it, but it's certainly not any kind of a major storm at this time. Here's our sun source scale. You've heard me talk about it the last few days. A little device. It's like a thermometer that measures the intensity of the ultraviolet light. That, of course, is the tanning and also the burning rays. Now, this is for what they call type 2 skin, which is average untanned Caucasian skin. Kind of interesting because at 11:30 this morning, it was 68. That's before the clouds started to move in, 68 on the scale. Now, this here is minimal to the first line, and it's tanning up to the second line and burning past the third. So you see here at about 11:30 this morning, you could only stay out about an hour and a half maximum without any protection before you start to burn. However, later this afternoon at 3:30, we checked it again, and it was as low as 16, which means it's tough to get a tan, tough to get a burn unless you stay out all day when it's that low. So we'll keep you posted. It's a kind of an interesting way to check the ultraviolet intensity of the sun throughout the day. And we'll, of course, mention it off and on throughout the summer. Here we go. Yesterday had that high-pressure system sitting on top of us. Actually, it's still there today, so I doubt this low will make it up into our area. It looks like it's more heading towards the Louisiana area, over, say, from Beaumont, Texas, over towards New Orleans. That's where it looks like they're going to get wet. Already they've been getting wet in New Orleans today, picked up about an inch of rain. And this system has pushed on down and made for some much cooler temperatures today in the mid-Atlantic states. However, there still were some record highs that took place today, and you'll see just a couple of them here pop up, including the nation's hot spot, 109 in Pierre, South Dakota, if you can believe that. Current conditions along the Gulf Coast as we take a look at a beautiful northwest Florida sunset. John Lamond got a great blue heron at Bay Point, and we appreciate John for sending in the photo. Got the photo right in the middle of your screen. You can see it mostly cloudy and 86 degrees. The winds are out of the south-southwest at 4. The barometer moved up a little bit from yesterday at 30.05, and humidity actually down a little bit from yesterday at 60%. Those are your tides. Going to be venturing out. Tidal heights about 1.5 feet. In our area, looking pretty good as far as the marine forecast goes. Still southerly winds to 10 knots. However, as you venture towards the west, the seas and winds will, of course, pick up as you get closer to that low-pressure system. As usual, a 30% chance of a thunderstorm. And for tomorrow, surprise, surprise, we've changed it from a 50 to a 40% chance of a thunderstorm, so I guess that's good news. And it's getting a little better, but generally the same story continues right on through Wednesday. No major changes.
Here's today's winning entry in the Color the Weather contest, sponsored by McDonald's. Today's winner is Leroy Santana, age 7.
Welcome to Fort Walton Beach. And welcome to the world-famous Gulfarium. The Gulfarium. Thrilling. Exciting. Fascinating. Offering the best family fun on the coast. Sea lions. Penguins. Harbor seals. Feel like you're underwater in the living sea. There's a thrill a minute at the world-famous Gulfarium on Okaloosa Island in Fort Walton Beach.
Have a steak on us. At Cook Whitehead Isuzu, now through Monday, we'll give you 4 free ribeye steaks when you test drive or purchase an Isuzu. And when you purchase, you also get a free full tank of gas. Plus tremendous savings on Isuzu pickups at $149 per month. No money down with approved credit plus tax and tag. Trooper 2 started only $11,999. Get cash back on iMark and Impulse. This limited offer is through Monday only. Have a steak on us at Cook Whitehead Isuzu on 98 at Harrison.
Here we are again live on the beach asking that most popular question, where's the best place to eat? You, sir, where is your favorite place to eat?
At the house.
Oh, well, where can you get the best Gulf Fresh seafood?
Papa House.
Well, what about the best charred grilled steak?
Papa House.
Oh, and who has the best view in town?
Papa House.
The Harbor House, St. Andrew Bay, next to Ramada Inn.
Coming up in 30 minutes from now on TV7 News at 6 o'clock, the Gulf Coast Community College trustees are meeting in this hour to select a new college president. We'll have a live report. The drought situation gets a little bit worse in North Florida. A 71-year-old man has been jailed on local murder charges following the shooting death of his son last night. And the annual Panhandle Watermelon Festival got underway this afternoon in Chipley up in Washington County. We'll have these stories and more in 30 minutes.
In Washington, new disclosures in the Pentagon purchasing scandal. In the Middle East, new violence between Arabs and Israelis.
NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw.
Good evening. I'm Garrick Utley. Tom Brokaw's on vacation. We have new exclusive facts this evening about the scandal in defense purchasing, the selling of inside information to outside contractors. Investigators say they now have videotape recordings of officials at the Pentagon taking payoffs, bribes for that information, and they named names. Fred Francis, our Pentagon correspondent, has the story. Fred?
Garrick, NBC News has been told by officials close to the case that the FBI and the Naval Investigative Service have videotaped evidence of Pentagon officials allegedly taking bribes from consultants for inside information.
The sources tell NBC News that Deputy Assistant Secretary of the Air Force Victor Cohen would, quote, clear his calendar and leave the Pentagon whenever one of the defense consultants would call. The sources said the meetings were recorded and videotaped and money changed hands. The sources also say that James Gaines, a Deputy Assistant Secretary of the Navy, was also videotaped meeting with consultants. Highly confidential documents relating to Pentagon contracts allegedly changed hands. One of those consultants, former Assistant Secretary of the Navy Melvin Paisley, and others would allegedly take the documents and shop them around to defense contractors bidding on weapon systems, according to the sources close to the case. Many of the companies seeking defense contracts have offices along the Beltway around Washington. As an example, the sources said, if 3 of these companies were bidding on the same defense contract, the consultants would secretly sell each competitor each other's bid. The losers didn't complain because the source said if the companies didn't play ball, they didn't win. The sources say many of the consultants were on permanent retainer with the defense contractors, but to hide the payments from auditors and to get more money in exchange for the confidential bidding information, the consultants would submit meaningless research papers to the defense companies, often submitting the same papers as many as 16 times and getting paid each time.
Garrick, that was just one way the consultants would get paid and that their money would be hidden, and there are several other ways.
Fred, it is a week now since the scandal broke. Do we yet know its full dimensions?
No, Garrick. One senior official very close to the case said that the investigation has just begun. He said that only half the information about criminal activity has come out so far, and he predicted, in fact, told his men that they'd be on the case for 1 full year.
A key question still hanging over this whole case is whether any member of Congress has been involved. Is there any evidence of that?
There is no direct evidence, though one senior official said, quote, we have strong investigative leads involving several congressmen. Another source said that at least 2 congressmen are implicated enough right now to be indicted. Now, Garrick, while no congressmen had their offices searched or their phones wiretapped or subpoenaed, the investigators tell us that their voices were recorded on wiretaps with the defense consultants under investigation.
Fred Francis, thank you very much. Also in NBC Nightly News this evening.
Do you know whether or not your county has been declared a drought disaster county?
Yes, it has. It has.
As the drought continues, Roger O'Neill will report on what the government is doing to help farmers in trouble. For many, it's a question of survival. And on Assignment America, Bill Scheckner takes us to a small town in the Middle West where, drought or no drought, a man has been making music for more than half a century.
Headaches, backaches, muscle aches and pains. Millions of you experience this kind of everyday pain. And you should know that the pain reliever that's unbeaten for ailments like these is Tylenol. But it wouldn't make any sense to relieve your pain and then irritate your stomach. That's why you should choose a pain reliever that won't cause the stomach irritation possible with aspirin or even ibuprofen. That's why your choice should be Tylenol. It's tough on pain, easy on your stomach.
Nabisco frosted wheat squares. Name's too long. Don't need Nabisco. It's up in the corner frosted. Yes, you can see it's frosted for great taste. Wheat. What else from the shredded wheat people? For great nutrition. Squares. Do these bite-sized squares look round? I doubt it. No. That's a nice short name.
Nevertheless, we prefer Nabisco frosted wheat squares. Great taste and great nutrition.
I like this name better.
We want to show you now something that happened today on the Israeli-occupied West Bank, an incident in which stones were thrown, shots were fired, and people were hurt. What is different in this case, though, is that the shots were not fired by soldiers operating under military discipline, but by an Israeli settler who was attacked. The conflict there is increasingly one between civilians on both sides. Martin Fletcher shows us now what is happening and where it could lead.
At Friday prayers, young Palestinians said, "Stick around. There's going to be some action." Suddenly, two Jewish settlers found themselves under attack, stones and rocks. One fought back with an Uzi submachine gun as his wife cowered on the ground. The Palestinians hurled rocks from the shelter of the mosque. 7 Palestinians were shot in the arms and legs. Strictly speaking, the settler is breaking the law. He's only allowed to shoot if his life is in danger or if he's seen somebody with a gasoline bomb. He drives off under a hail of rocks. Victory for the Palestinians who start a barricade in the street. After 2 minutes, the soldiers arrived, too late to help the settlers. And the Palestinians show little fear of the troops. They know the army has strict orders when to shoot to kill. That's what infuriates the settlers. In Hebron today, a Jew was stabbed by Palestinians. He was able to shoot his attacker. Other settlers immediately said the army's weakness causes more attacks. The Jewish settlers attacked the Israeli army with words and the press with rocks. They spit at the lens. Let the air out of tires. The settlers believe reporters helped the Arabs. The stabbed settler.
This is a direct result of American pressure on Israel not to take strong steps against Arabs.
The right wing here believes every attack on Jews wins more support for its solution, throw the Arabs out. Martin Fletcher, NBC News, on the Israeli-occupied West Bank.
In Austria, the visit of Pope John Paul continues amid controversy. Today, the Pope visited a former Nazi concentration camp. Behind the controversy is not only the Nazi ties of Austria's President Kurt Waldheim, but also the feeling held by many Jews that the Catholic Church did not do all it could have done to protect Jews under Hitler. Here's Stephen Fraser.
Arriving with his retinue by helicopter, Pope John Paul began a precisely choreographed tour of the camp that was noteworthy for what he did not see. Not a glimpse of the ovens, the gas chamber, the dissection table where prisoners were tortured. Not a mention of Jewish suffering. His guide, a survivor who, because he was Austrian Catholic, was never forced to work hard labor. This was a death camp, and among those put to death here were people from many different backgrounds and places. There were Spanish Republicans and Italian partisans, Soviet communists and Catholic priests. But by far the greatest majority of the 110,000 people killed here were Jews. And the Pope's failure to acknowledge that while dramatizing the fate of non-Jewish prisoners infuriated Austria's chief rabbi and disappointed the leader of the Jewish community.
We missed clear words, and we are still missing them.
Pope John Paul did refer to the Holocaust in a meeting with Jewish leaders in Vienna, but said Christians could not be blamed for what happened. And if his words angered the leaders, so have his actions, such as his giving communion today to Austrian President Kurt Waldheim, accused by Jews of complicity in Nazi war crimes during his German army service. At the start of this tour, some observers said the Pope was prepared to ride out controversy over Waldheim in order to reach these pilgrims from communist Hungary and Yugoslavia he wants to win back to the Church. But so far, the Pope's schedule seems less designed to ride out controversy
than to create it. Stephen Frazier, NBC News, with Pope John Paul in Austria.
Heartburn again?
Yeah.
Take some Riopan Plus 2. It's double strength.
I hope it works fast.
In lab tests, Riopan Plus 2 starts neutralizing acid in 10 seconds.
Look better.
You want to go after a banana split?
Riopan Plus 2, the fast antacid.
When you buy Corning prescription lenses that change, it's like getting free light tints, free medium tints, dark tints, and a range of free sunglasses all in one. Corning lenses that change. The only eyeglasses you'll ever need.
Morning. What, no kiss?
Oh, sorry. Lips that touch sugar and preservatives will never touch mine.
Okay.
No. Oh, I want real commitment.
Nutri-Grain?
Mm-hmm.
New Kellogg's Nutri-Grain biscuits.
Biscuits?
Think positive.
All right, no sugar added, no salt, no preservatives. I'm positive I'm going to hate this.
Introducing the only shredded wheat with no preservatives. Nutri-Grain biscuits.
Oh, okay. Now let's talk commitment.
New Nutri-Grain biscuits.
Dentuaries. Now everybody's calling me the Fresh Mouth. Thanks to Super Strength Collagen Green. It's got a minty mouthwash ingredient, so it freshens up dentures as it cleans tough stains. Try Super Strength Collagen Green, the mouth freshening clean. Ah.
You know, Canon's new personal zoom copier can magnify my image.
Or cut you down to size.
And Canon cartridges sure make it easy to maintain, which makes this PC7 the newest star in my family.
Guess you can't pick your relatives.
Personal copiers for every personality.
Question: do poor children have a constitutional right to ride the school bus for free? Today, the Supreme Court ruled that they do not. The vote was close, 5-4. It upheld a North Dakota law which allows many public school districts to charge for bus service. The ruling will have the greatest impact on poor and rural areas. For a change today, there is some good news to report about the drought of '88. A cold front brought rain today to some areas of the upper Midwest. Iowa got as much as 2 inches. Meanwhile, federal officials opened a national hotline for farmers to call in for information about drought relief, financial aid. And as NBC's Roger O'Neill reports tonight, it was an instant success.
More than 600 calls, 1 a minute, came into the Agriculture Department's new drought hotline in Washington today.
Do you know whether or not your county has been declared a drought disaster county?
Yes, it has.
It has.
It's been so busy, more phones have been ordered. Federal aid for farmers in trouble is plentiful. There's emergency feed from government stockpiles for cattlemen, crop insurance, and money for farmers who set aside land, agree not to grow anything on it. A safety net to prevent an agricultural disaster. That's a far cry from the 1930s, when there were no government programs, and thousands of families lost everything, their land, homes, equipment. Today's $18 billion a year federal farm program got its start after the disastrous Dust Bowl days. When John Spitzer planted 500 acres of wheat this spring, the government guaranteed him a target price of $4.22 a bushel. When the wheat was sold, if the market price was lower, Spitzer's deficiency payment from the government would make up the difference. The North Dakota farmer took out a $6,000 loan to plant the crop, but the drought killed his wheat. And if, as most analysts expect, wheat prices go above $4.22, there won't be a deficiency payment. He'll have to pay back the loan, and he'll have no crop to sell.
If we don't get the deficiency payment, our loss could go as high as $30,000.
Farm state lawmakers in Congress want to keep the deficiency payments going regardless. Some farmers will actually get back more money than they have spent when other relief programs are figured in.
A knowledgeable farmer can take advantage of these kinds of programs and hopefully, and that's the way most farmers operate, hopefully be able to survive till better times occur.
Harold Barrett may not have a crop, but he's got 40,000 bushels of gold sitting in a storage bin. It's last year's soybeans. The price for those beans have doubled since last year's harvest. Government help programs will cover most of this year's crop losses, but because of other debts for land and equipment, many may still lose the farm. Roger O'Neill, NBC News.
Because of the drought and the low level of the Mississippi River, the Army engineers said today that they plan to build a barrier across the bottom of the river near New Orleans. That to keep salt water from the Gulf from moving too far upstream and contaminating supplies of fresh drinking water. This week, there has been considerable attention paid to what scientists call the greenhouse effect. That is a warming trend throughout the world caused by air pollution. Experts warn again and again that the warmth could melt the polar ice caps, raise sea levels, and destroy crops. What can be done to prevent it? Here's Robert Hager.
The carbon dioxide pollution, believed mostly responsible for trapping heat in the atmosphere and causing long-term global warming, is caused by things basic to modern society. The burning of coal, oil, and natural gas. That powers our factories, generates our electricity, heats our homes, and fuels our cars. How could we cut back? Nuclear power would be the most readily available alternative. A few long-term critics are re-examining their opposition, but for now, public opinion seems set against any more nuclear plants. Solar energy appears to many to hold promise, but because of lower oil costs, development of solar energy has languished. That seems to leave one practical alternative which could be undertaken almost immediately, and that's to continue using oil, gas, and coal for our energy, but burn it more efficiently. Not easy, but many say it could be done. For instance, new and more efficient burners are capable of using much less fuel to create the same amount of energy as currently common burners. Gustav Speth of the World Resources Institute.
The ultimate big solution is to produce goods and services with much less energy than we have now. The technologies to do it are available.
There are more efficient ways of lighting, which use much less electricity. There are experimental automobiles capable of getting 100 miles to the gallon. Now, in the midst of the drought, environmental delegates from around the world meet next week in Canada to talk about atmospheric pollution. The United Nations' William Mansfield hopes delegates will come away committed to deal with the carbon dioxide problem.
There's no doubt that one looks ahead 30 years and thinks of your grandchildren. This is the legacy that we're going to leave for them. And if they can look back and say that this generation started on dealing with this urgent issue, I think that will be the most urgent thing that they could take back with them.
The current weather may provide just the incentive to get action started. Robert Hager, NBC News, Washington.
And there was a spectacular example today of the atmospheric pollution that contributes to the greenhouse effect. A fire at a gasoline storage tank in northern Mexico reignited only hours after authorities had put it out. The gas tank is owned by the government oil monopoly Pemex. The initial fire killed 2 people and injured 20. It was caused by a welding spark that ignited a gas spill.
This hammer is twice as strong as this hammer. Tums EX is twice as strong as Rolaids, so Tums neutralizes twice the stomach acid. Tums EX, twice as strong as Rolaids.
What harm can a little water do? The damaging effects of water and time have always been wood's enemy. Introducing new Rust-Oleum Wood Saver Paint, a special wood formula with Teflon for twice the moisture protection of ordinary paint. So if it's going to get wet, get Rust-Oleum.
Constipation is tough enough. Having hemorrhoids on top of constipation can twist you in knots. That's when you need MO. Haley's MO, the gentle laxative for hemorrhoid sufferers. Made with Phillips Milk of Magnesia, plus mineral oil, M-O. So while it relieves constipation, the mineral oil lubricates. And when you have sensitive hemorrhoids, that makes relief a lot easier. Haley's M.O., the laxative for hemorrhoid sufferers.
Ann McKenzie, interior decorator for Endust.
Does your furniture have wax buildup? Well, using spray wax too often can cause wax to build up and trap dirt. Use it only occasionally to polish. For day-to-day cleaning, use Endust. It has no wax buildup. Look, after cleaning your best with spray wax, spray Endust. If your cloth gets dirty, you've got wax buildup. So use spray wax only for occasional waxing. Use Endust for day-to-day cleaning.
Now for indigestion, gas, introducing new extra-strength Malox Plus. It neutralizes more than any leading antacid and dissolves gas. Nobody does as much as new extra-strength Malox Plus.
Angola. That country has long been a battlefield. Its Marxist government backed by the Soviet Union and Cuban troops. A rebel movement backed by neighboring South Africa and the United States. Today, representatives of Angola, Cuba, South Africa, and the United States met in Cairo to talk about a settlement. But one key figure was not there. He was in the United States. Here's our chief diplomatic correspondent, John Cochran.
Many admire him, many despise him, but all agree he's a survivor. Jonas Savimbi, who for 13 years has led his guerrillas in a bush war against Angolan forces backed by Soviet technology and as many as 45,000 Cuban troops. The United States is supplying Savimbi with arms estimated this year at $15 million. And that outrages some prominent American blacks because Savimbi's other ally is the white supremacist government of South Africa.
The most important arm of South Africa's strategy is Jonas Savimbi. Aid to Savimbi is aid to South Africa.
Savimbi is a blood-sucking vulture, a buzzard who preys off the blood of his own people.
Savimbi, now in the U.S. to drum up support, says he has to accept help wherever he can get it.
Does it disturb you to have to work hand in glove with a white supremacist regime?
It does not. I tell them I am a black nationalist. I'm not going to be your puppet.
Savimbi is engaged not only in a shooting war, but in a public relations battle. Both he and the Angolan government hiring American PR firms to win sympathy and support. An Angolan minister met this week with Secretary of State Schultz and White House officials who urged the Marxist Angolans to share power with Savimbi. The Angolan reply, no. Period.
He has done so many bad things to our people that there is no any question of bringing him to the government.
But Angola's leftist government says it will ask its Cuban allies to leave if South Africa withdraws its troops from neighboring Namibia and if the U.S. halts aid to Savimbi. Savimbi himself believes Fidel Castro is ready to pull his forces out of Africa.
My optimism is so great that I feel the day is coming, is closer to see the last Cuban leaving our country.
But the Angolan government could simply stall until the November election to see whether Americans choose Michael Dukakis, who would halt aid to Savimbi. So when Savimbi visits the White House next week, it could be the last time he gets a warm welcome there. John Cochran, NBC News.
In England today, at a Royal Air Force base, it began routinely enough. A precision flying team, the Red Arrows, began its takeoff, but then trouble on the last plane. The pilot fired his rocket-propelled ejector seat and blasted clear. Within seconds, the plane's fuel tanks exploded. The pilot survived with just cuts and minor back injuries.
It's a first. The fantastic 59-cent sale at Color Tile. Hundreds of products are on sale starting at 59 cents. Beautiful ceramic floor tiles like this, just 59 cents. Handsome imported ceramic wall tiles like this one, just 59 cents each. Dramatic vinyl floor tiles, just 59 cents. And Armstrong sheet vinyl as low as 59 cents a square foot. It's all at Color Tile's fantastic 59-cent sale, but only till Sunday. Bring the beauty home. Color Tile.
It's Lobster Fest time at Red Lobster. We know what you love the most. At our Lobster Fest, we do lobster best. No one else even comes close.
From $8.95, kids just 99 cents.
Have a tempting lobster trio. Mornay, if you're in the mood. Our tails are the best at our Lobster Fest. We know how you love seafood.
Now, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, lobster and shrimp trio, just $11.95.
Sunday, as the Pentagon scandal widens, we'll look into the multi-billion-dollar defense business. Among the guests, former Defense Secretary Caspar Weinberger. Sunday on Meet the Press.
Morning, ladies.
Morning.
Like to see how your cereals stack up to Total?
Lovely idea.
To get the vitamins in one bowl of Total, it takes almost 3 bowls of Special K.
Pass the all brand, Gloria.
Takes 4 bowls of that.
That's why I like shredded wheat.
Then you'll have to eat 12 bowls.
You better loosen your girdle, Margaret.
Total has 100% of 9 vitamins and iron and is rich in calcium.
I've always preferred Total.
Total, a stack of nutrition in just 1 bowl.
And finally, this evening, Assignment America. The time, summer. The place, a small town in the Middle West. Our subject, the Music Man, a real one. Our reporter, Bill Schechner.
You know it's summertime in West Frankfort, Illinois, when the town band starts setting up in the park.
Greatest thing that ever happened to West Frankfort.
Another season for them, and for the man who brought the music 58 summers ago, 82-year-old Ted Pashtag.
Nicely, buddy. I just can't imagine not having the band to leave. I can be half sick, and as soon as I get up there, that all goes away. I'm in heaven. There's not words in the English language to express my feeling. I commence to cry. Tears come to my eyes.
They are all unpaid amateurs, here for him. And he's here for them, and the music.
Okay, thank you a lot. I think every town should have a band, just like you need to put a girl for a wife. You can see one in the pictures and see it, but to have one that you can hug and kiss and love, that's it. That's as close as I can come to.
It's been a long romance, Ted and music. Theaters, vaudeville. Then, in 1930, he joined a music company that unloaded a bunch of instruments in West Frankfort on a 30-day trial. Unless somebody taught the kids to play, the sale would fall through. That somebody was Ted Pashtag.
Well, I taught them for a full month, and after the month we gave a concert, say. They knocked the audience cold. They never heard anything like that down here, see. And so instead of people coming to see it be a flop, why, they all got up and clapped, and there we went.
The town went nuts for the band, marching them up and down Main Street whenever they could.
The people came down like it was a concert to hear me raise Cain with the kids to play right, see?
And they closed the street off?
Oh, Lord, yes, sir. Yeah, oh, man, yes, when that band came out, that's where we had the freeway, we had the town, see?
Some of those who played for Ted in that first band still play for him. So do his children, grandchildren, even great-grandchildren. Do any of you get any special favors or easy treatment from Ted because you're related?
No, absolutely not. Never.
And I hear right, it's just like 40 or 50 angels coming down from the skies and singing beautiful music. The music is a sort of a food for your system. It's been nourishment but for me, see. It's for food, see. That keeps me going.
Bill Schechner, NBC News, West Frankfort, Illinois.
Someday they may make a musical out of that. That's the news on this Friday evening. Connie Chung will be here tomorrow. Tom Brook will be back on Monday. And I hope you'll join us Sunday morning on Sunday Today. I'm Garrett Utley. Good night for NBC News.
Looking for big laughs? The biggest. Then don't miss the stars of TV's bloopers and practical jokes. And it's the man of a million faces. Sonny Spoon. Who uses his wiles to get by. Sonny Spoon. It's Sonny Spoon. I knew that. Then on Miami Vice, Castillo and Tubbs are trapped on opposite sides of a drug war. It all happens tonight.
Good evening. In tonight's headlines, a Coast Guard search is underway in area Gulf waters. 71-year-old man is jailed on local murder charges, and the Watermelon Festival in Chipley is underway.
WJHG TV, Channel 7, Panama City. This is TV7 News at 6.
with Joe Moore. Tom McGinnis, sports. And weather with Kurt Clyott.
Good evening. A 4-month-long search to find a new president for Gulf Coast Community College ended just a few moments ago. TV7's Cindy Hill is standing by live at Gulf Coast with a report on the new presidential selectee. Cindy?
Joe, that's right. As you mentioned, after a 4-month search process, Gulf Coast Community College has a new leader, and that man is none other than acting president Dr. Bob McSpadden. Gulf Coast Community College unanimously gave the nod to McSpadden over 3 other finalists for the job. The 44-year-old McSpadden has been with the college since 1969. He began here as an assistant professor and slowly worked his way up the administrative ladder. He most recently served as assistant president to the popular Dr. Larry Tyree before Tyree's departure and was named as acting president thereafter. Trustees cited McSpadden's knowledge about the college and his reputation within the community as main reasons for his appointment. Now, some of them did express reservations as to his lack of experience as a chief executive officer, but they didn't feel like that was going to be a hindrance. 93 candidates nationwide applied for Gulf Coast's top job. In the end, it boiled down to those 4 candidates. Now, I spoke just a few moments ago with Trustees Chairman Charlie Whitehead concerning that 4-month search process.
I was tremendously pleased with the search process. I think it's a process that has given us a leader at Gulf Coast Community College who the college can be proud of. I think that every member of the search committee, including the Board of Trustees, certainly learned an awful lot from the candidates we personally interviewed. We had a tremendous amount of totally qualified candidates for this job. I think that Dr. McSpadden will be a better president for Gulf Coast by going through the process. But I feel that the agenda of the entire committee was that to find the best leader for Gulf Coast Community College, and I think we succeeded.
Now, some might say, well, you spent 4 months looking, but you'd already made up your mind after Tyree left.
Well, I'll tell you, I sort of felt like I had made up my mind originally and was not that much in favor of a search originally, but that's certainly not the case. As you heard many of the board members say, I think everybody had an open mind, and if we had found someone that we felt like was superior to Dr. McSpadden, I think that he would have been offered the position of president of Gulf Coast.
Dr. McSpadden couldn't be with us. He's out of town at a conference. But when he does get back into town, trustees will hold a special meeting and they'll begin negotiations with him for a 3-year contract. They had talked about proposing a $70,000 a year salary with, of course, the bonuses attached with that salary. Once again, Dr. Bob McSpadden named as the new college president for Gulf Coast Community College. Reporting live from Gulf Coast Community College, Cindy Hill, TV7 News.
Thank you, Cindy. Elsewhere in the news, rainfall in northwest Florida has been only a small fraction of what it should be this time of the year. And the lack of rain is already causing a lot of problems for this year's corn crop. TV7's Mike Vasilenda reports from Baker in North Okaloosa County that rain is needed soon if any of the other crops are to survive or be profitable.
Rain clouds have teased panhandle farmers and their dying crops most of the week, but it's been more than a month since the last significant rain. Creek beds are dry, fields are parched.
Every day that we don't have rain means that we're going to make less money if we make any money this year.
They tunnel in here. The corn crop is now 30 to 60% lost in parts of North Florida. This cornfield should be 10 feet tall, not 5 feet tall. And what worries farmers here most is that it's drier now than it is in most years at the end of August. But even a heavy rain now won't ease the losses for corn farmers.
It could improve the quality of what little is here, that's all. See, that's the poor ear. That's what most of them is going to be.
Rising soybean prices because of the drought in the Midwest offers the only real hope of salvaging this growing season for Florida farmers, but rain soon is a must.
If you could sell those beans for $10, you could still make more money than we've made in the last several years.
But for others, like Jimmy Williams, it's already too late. His corn is gone, and his other crops are weeks behind schedule.
That's it. You know, once you're in the hole, you're in the hole.
So what do you do next year, though?
Try again.
For now, no state or federal aid is available, but that could change if the drought doesn't ease. In Tallahassee, Mike Vassalinda, TV7 News.
Units from the Panama City Coast Guard Station and the Florida Marine Patrol are searching the Gulf this evening off the Franklin County coastline for a fishing boat. They have reported a man overboard at noon today. The motor vessel, the Sloppy Joe, radioed the Coast Guard at 12:30 that it had a person overboard 6 miles south of the Bob Sykes Cut. The Coast Guard then lost communications with the vessel. About a half hour later, another radio message was received that the Sloppy Joe had recovered the person and was thought to be starting CPR. Then communications were lost once again. The Coast Guard, using its aircraft and cutters, and Florida Marine Patrol aircraft and patrol boats have been searching the area since then and have not been able to locate the vessel. That search is continuing at this hour this evening. Well, 71-year-old Joseph Hyams underwent a first appearance in Bay County Court this afternoon after allegedly murdering his 41-year-old son last night. TV7 Shepard Smith reports.
Reports indicate that 70-year-old Joseph Hyams of Fort Lauderdale and his son Andy were passengers in this car traveling east on Highway 98 near Mexico Beach Thursday night. The elder Hyams was in the back seat, his son in the front passenger side. Sheriff's officials say the father allegedly pulled out a .357 Magnum, aimed it at the back of his son's head, and fired 2 shots at point-blank range. The bullets were said to be special U.S. Marshal ammunition, which instead of making a hole, exploded on impact, killing Andy Hyams instantly.
Mr. Hyams, you're charged with first-degree murder, specifically on the 23rd of June, 1988, with premeditated design causing the death of Andy Hyams, your son, by shooting him in the back of the head with a pistol. Do you have an attorney?
The driver of the car is not charged. Officials say the victim had at one time been in a drug and alcohol rehabilitation center, placed there by his father. And most recently, the son had been diagnosed as having cirrhosis of the liver. Reports indicate Joseph Hyams wanted to, quote, put his son out of his misery. From the Bay County Courthouse, Shepard Smith, TV7 News.
Well, the so-called revolving door of the state prison system will apparently slow down as a result of some action taken in Tallahassee recently. TV7's David Reinhardt takes a look.
Career criminals will spend more time behind bars under legislation signed by the governor this afternoon. The bill gives judges more latitude to vary from approved sentencing guidelines, and it sets up 2 pilot projects, one in Duval County and the other in Pinellas County, in which additional judges and prosecutors are assigned to handle only career criminal cases.
The bill in general, I think, is a great step forward in returning the discretion to the judges under the guidelines to give us a lot more latitude and longitude to work with those particular instances. And it also gives the judges, probably the most important step, is a hammer to take and say to those who we convict and who are put out on probation or community control and who violate that, we can now go a step forward and up and really show them that there is incarceration in the event that they will not follow community control, probation, or some other type of program.
The bill could result in more people being released from prison early, but they would be the least dangerous offenders. David Reinhardt, TV7 News.
I bet you've been asked 1,000 times today, where is the rain?
Let's see, that's 1,001,
okay.
Joe. Okay, actually, if you
Same
want
answer, too, I'll bet.
That's right. If you want the rain, here's what you do.
All right.
You go west about 200 miles, and then you go south 200 miles. You'll be soaked.
You certainly will. It's in the middle of the Gulf.
That's where a lot of the rain is. Also, quite a few hit-and-miss thunderstorms in the area. Mexico Beach, they've gotten a thunderstorm now 4 days in a row. I don't know if they'll get one today. All the weekend details coming up next.
TGIF means SOS because you're going to save on Saturday at Cook Whitehead Ford. And here's your SOS reporter with an update.
If it's economy you're looking for, be at Cook Whitehead Ford this Saturday and check out the SOS specials. The fabulous Festiva. You can buy one of these gas mileage champs for as little as $54.95, including the rebate. And some of our customers say they're getting more than 50 miles per gallon. Quick, efficient credit check within 15 minutes. Call collect. Cook Whitehead Ford, Panama City.
It's time to SOS. Save on Saturday at Cook Whitehead Ford, Panama City.
I've known some pain in my life. I thought drinking would bury the pain. Only the more I drank, the more depressed I became. And the more depressed I became, the the more I drank. In November 1980, I found the courage to enter treatment. Today I'm sober and I'm happy. If you're on a merry-go-round to nowhere, please call.
Call Crossroads, the Recovery Center.
Help us help you.
Have a steak on us. At Cook Whitehead Isuzu, now through Monday, we'll give you 4 free ribeye steaks when you test drive or purchase an Isuzu. And when you purchase, you also get a free full tank of gas. Plus tremendous savings on Isuzu pickups at $149 per month. No money down with approved credit plus tax and tag. 2 for 2 start at only $11,999. Get cash back on iMark and Impulse. This limited offer is through Monday only. Have a steak on us at Cook Whitehead Isuzu on 98 at Harrison.
It has indeed been an interesting week weather-wise. Of course, a lot of clouds right here, what they call the subtropical convergence zone around the equator. What that means, it's usually cloudy around the equator. And here is a tropical wave we'll take a closer look at. And this little disturbance in the Gulf, it's causing some small craft advisories to be posted to the west of the Mississippi River. But that system really hasn't quite gotten it together yet. And I was talking to some people saying, all right, talking to some of the people that should be in the know, meteorologists in Apalachicola and Miami, and saying, what's this little system going to do? And they said, we don't know yet. But, of course, they're tracking it right now. Wouldn't lose any sleep over. But you can see some pretty tall tops associated with it. That is the area, about 27 north, 94 west. Still a quasi-stationary, just trough of low pressure. And it has been bringing a lot of rain. It's slow movement up generally to about the New Orleans area, maybe a little bit to the west of New Orleans. So far, New Orleans has picked up about an inch of rain. Now, right here at the edge of your screen, let's take a look. A little better look at this system here. This is a nice tropical wave. Of course, for it to become a tropical depression, it has to have an organized center and start to have that cyclonic rotation to it. And this system does not yet, but the ingredients are there, and it could. We'll be tracking it over the weekend for you. Moving at a fairly nice clip to the west, just to orient you. Here's the northern coast of South America, Venezuela. This is Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, over towards Cuba. So this system could bring some pretty nice-sized thunderstorms to, say, Puerto Rico by this time tomorrow or on into Sunday. Now, one of the reasons that little system in the Gulf may not have strengthened very much so far is this is kind of interesting. In the last couple of weeks, actually, it looks like parts of the Gulf water temperature have cooled down just a touch. That's, I'm sure, atypical of the trend. But, of course, the storms that form later in the year, when the water temperature is at its peak, the storms get the latent energy from the water temperature. Those are the storms you really have to watch out for. So still plenty warm right along the beach, though. We've just now topped out at about 80 degrees. Here you see that little low out in the Gulf, and many people in the eastern part of the nation are breathing a sigh of relief because this system has pushed on down. But there is a high-pressure zone in our area that just won't budge. So I'm afraid not much is going to change for us. The barometric pressure actually gone up a little bit from yesterday. So tomorrow, making a big change in the forecast from a 50 to a 40% chance of rain. 109 in the Capitol Pier of South Dakota today. A couple of records, even 101 in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Got to 96 in Albany, Georgia, as you'll see here on our regional temperatures. 95 over in Tallahassee. Officially 92 in Panama City. Afternoon at the airport, 89 degrees out on the Gulf in our region. Southwest winds to 10 knots, seas 1 to 3 feet. Current conditions along the Gulf Coast as we take a look at a very nice Bay County sunset, actually from Bay Point. We want to thank John Lamond for a photo of a great blue heron for this afternoon's weather photo. Partly cloudy. You can see some sunshine. Winds have switched around a little bit. They moved over to the west at 5. Humidity down a touch from what it has been, 65%, but still enough with the 92 reading to put the summer simmer index up at 103. Tidal heights are starting to pick up a little bit as we head towards a full moon next week. Tidal heights running about 1.5 feet. And if you're going to venture out on the Gulf, you should be in pretty good shape if you're going to go straight offshore from Panama City or to the east of Panama City. But if you're going to go to the west, especially over, say, in Alabama or Mississippi coastal waters, take a little extra caution, a little extra time, because seas will be picking up over there, seas and winds. Look at that, down to a 40% chance, and maybe a little bit better than it has been, but still pretty much the same pattern on into...
But good weather for the Watermelon Festival.
Yeah, except I'm upset, Joe. I've got a bent watermelon here but it still should be pretty good for the watermelon.
They have thousands of them there. They'll give you another one.
Oh, good. It should be nice for the festival and any other weekend activities you've got. I hope you have a great one.
All right. Thank you, Kirk. When we come back, we'll take a look at the first day of this year's Chipley Watermelon Festival.
At Albertsons, we think like you do, which means big savings on your grocery bills. Now's the time for sweet and juicy peaches, fresh from Georgia, packaged for your convenience, now only 19 cents a pound. Fresh blueberries make it special. First of season blueberries in pine containers, just 99 cents a pound. And you'll love the new fashion shades of summer legs in assorted colors and sizes, only $1.57 each. So when you want to save big on your grocery bills, remember, at Albertsons, we think like you do.
Buzz Leonard Chrysler will sell you a brand new 88 Fifth Avenue for as low as $15,990. That's right, $15,990 for the most beautiful luxury car on the road today.
And Dad, for the economy car buyers, we have a Plymouth Horizon for $75.90. These 5-door hatchbacks have air, power steering, AM, FM, reclining seats, and much more for only $75.90. Plus, Fifth Avenue and Horizon have a 7-year or 70,000-mile protection plan.
Come in today and you'll say, thanks a lot, Buzz.
There's always a better way to take any picture. And there's a better way to buy cameras and film, too. The Walmart way, where you'll find name brands like Kodak, always for less. Kodak's focus-free 35mm is always just $59.93 at Walmart. Kodak's popular 110 camera is only $7.83. Compare. Kodak film in all popular sizes is priced low all the time. You save more on cameras and film at Walmart. That's the best way to buy.
The Walmart way.
The annual Panhandle Watermelon Festival got underway today in Chipley, and TV7's Dale Cox was there.
For the 32nd year in a row, crowds are converging on Chipley to celebrate the annual watermelon harvest. County Judge Perry Wells, the chairman of this year's event, said that although local crops have been severely damaged by a continuing drought, he does not expect the spirit of the celebration to be dampened.
The melons, even though they're small, as I say, they are good. And you can see these that we've got here with us this morning. These are some that won't ship, but they sure are good to eat.
Planned events include a parade at 10 Saturday morning, watermelon auctions, fiddling and buck dancing, and scores of other activities. Activities will be going on at both the Northwest Florida Music Park and the Washington County Ag Center.
But basically, it's a celebration, a summertime celebration of the growing of the watermelon here in our area, which, as I said, is a cash crop to the farmers. And hopefully, when we have good seasons, it will be a better time for the growers.
There will also be plenty of free watermelon for everyone. In Chipley, Dale Cox, TV7 News.
Well, the restoration of the old Panama City City Hall downtown is almost completed. With an update on this project, TV7's David Reinhardt.
For the past 3 years, work has been underway to find some funding to renovate the Martin Theater and the old City Hall and City Jail complex in downtown Panama City. Now the old City Hall is about to become the new Visual Arts Center of Northwest Florida. Funding for the renovation was arranged for by the Panama City Downtown Improvement Board. DIB Director Glenn Connolly says the project has completely transformed the building, especially where the main gallery upstairs is concerned.
Well, I think you'll have to see it to appreciate it. It's opened up. We left the beam ceiling. We put a skylight in to add a little bit of character to it. And it's wide open, and they'll be able to put in partitions and all kinds of artwork up there and have a lot of room to move around.
So it's a pretty flexible exhibit area.
Absolutely.
In addition to the main exhibit gallery, there are lots of smaller galleries which can be used for workshops and instruction, as in this gallery, or being set aside for a gift shop featuring artwork by area artists. City Hall was built in 1925, and renovating it was one thing, but working on the old Panama City Jail was something else.
Still bare bones inside. The floors were cleaned up. You still got the cement floors, and a lot of the walls were just, the paint was cleared off the walls, and the red brick is showing. Some of the, we've had some partitions put in, of course, but and all the cells naturally were removed, as well as the bars. But anyway, it's a workable facility.
Work continues on the Visual Arts Center, and an official opening date has not been set. Meanwhile, work on the $1 million renovation of the Martin Theater across the street will begin next week. David Reinhardt, TV7 News.
Tom's here with the sports at 6 o'clock, and Mike Tyson, that big fight, 3 days away now?
3 days away. He's undefeated. So is Michael Spinks. We'll talk about Tyson and his camp when we come back, and see what a former Mosley star is doing as he gets ready to make the shift to college football. We'll be back.
something special in the air at Panama City Toyota. It's the 10-day tent sale going on now with fabulous values like a guaranteed $2,500 trade-in allowance toward any new 1988 Toyota truck, or special deals on brand new 1988 Toyota Corollas as low as $89.95, including air conditioning. The 10-day tent sale, Friday, June 17th through Monday, June 27th at Panama City Toyota, home of Mark Gerke, the guy that can't say no.
They could be marching into your home right now, entering through a crack in the foundation, chewing into your floors and subfloors, into your walls. Termites. There's one sure way to stop them. Call Terminix. Terminix technicians have treated over 5 million homes using EPA-registered materials and methods proven to stop termites. We guarantee it. No ifs, ands, or buts. Terminix. Call now for a free termite inspection.
Toyota savings explode! Through the 4th of July, get $1,000 rebates from the Toyota factory distributor on all new Camry LE sedans and wagons. $1,000 cash back on the versatile, reliable Camry. Plus, dealers have special 4th of July savings throughout their inventories, including $1,000 rebates on all these new half-ton standard bed Toyota trucks. $1,000 rebates on Camrys, $1,000 on trucks. But hurry, Toyota dealers definitely cut this offer off July 4th.
Come to Belk Hudson's store-wide summer clearance sale now in progress. Save up to 75% on all summer merchandise at Belk Hudson in Panama City Square.
Welcome back, everybody. It may not be football season, but it's not really that far away. And at this time of the year, several high school stars are preparing for the transition to big-time college football. Scott Rossman visits with one such athlete.
Since I was a little kid, like my dad played college football for a little while, and I kind of looked forward to it when I grew up.
That's the attitude of many high school football players, but like only a chosen few, Chip Chester will get the chance to live his dream. On August 8th, he heads to the University of Alabama, courtesy of a football scholarship. Chester was a place kicker, punter, and safety for Mosley High over the last 3 years, but he will go to the Crimson Tide as a punter. And so to prepare for that, he heads over to the Mosley practice field 3 times a week to work on the kicking game. But he doesn't do it alone. Chip's father usually tags along.
He's been a great help. He's always done right for me and told me the right things to do, and tried to be there by my side whenever I needed him.
I think every dad has a dream somewhere along the line that his son would just get an opportunity to play, and I was like all the other dads, and I was just very thankful that he had the opportunity to play. I'm just tickled about it.
Winston Chester has always been there to encourage his son. In fact, in Chip's first year at Mosley, Winston was the football coach. Now, he admits he was a little tougher on his son than on the other kids, but both father and son know it helped Chip Chester become a better football player.
In the long run, I know it did.
I think a dad has a choice of either being real easy on the son or real tough on him, and I didn't have any choice to be tough on him because I didn't want to show any favoritism, and I think it turned out real well.
Indeed, it did, and no matter how Chip's football career turns out, you somehow get the feeling the University of Alabama is lucky to be getting this young man. Scott Rossman, TV7 Sports.
Monday night in New Jersey, Mike Tyson will set out to silence all his critics of late and retain his heavyweight title. Sal Marciano has this report from the Tyson camp just 3 days before his bout with unbeaten Michael Spinks.
Mike Tyson may be a 4-1 favorite over Michael Spinks, and he may be the most devastating puncher in the game. But he carries into the ring the burden of the world press and its concentration on his personal life. Before his rise to the championship, boxing was simple 7 years ago when Tyson was adopted by the late legendary trainer Cus D'Amato. Mike says the media spark controversies won't distract him.
When I was a young kid, 13, 12, Cus prepared me for all this. Before I even had my first amateur fight, he prepared me because Cus knew. He said, you're going to be the heavyweight champ of the world, and you're going to have this and these problems, this problem, and people that you think are close to you are going to try to stab you.
Mike's wife, actress Robin Givens, is at the center of the tug-of-war over his $40 million fortune. Last February, there was no prenuptial agreement when the news of their marriage was televised around the world.
The issue is Michael wants to know about every cent he has, and has every right to know because it's Michael's money.
If you had to say right now what will happen no matter the fight, in your mind, what will happen?
I'm going to beat Michael Spinks in spectacular fashion.
It's 8 to 5 that it doesn't go 6.
Well, I don't care about odds. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. You know, whatever happens, you know, I'm going to leave the ring heavyweight champ of the world.
All right, all this week, 6 members of the Panama City Police Department are taking part in the Florida Police Olympics over in Jacksonville, including Daryl Adkins and Barbara Kitt, seen here in the 2-member volleyball competition. No medal in volleyball, though, but in the swimming, Kitt, Faith Bell, and Paul Winterman won 5 golds between them. Bell and Billy Doyle also gold medals in cycling, but win or lose, they say the competing is the most fun.
Mostly what I see is a lot of good sportsmanship. Everybody's cheering each other on, trying to help everybody play a good game of ball.
It's great to see them again in the competition, and especially I can only speak for the older people, but because when you finish event, they're the first to come shake your hand. And
the PC team is doing very well. In fact, out of 50 teams, they were about 4th, and they are doing very well over there. And getting back to the Chip Chester situation, he'll probably be redshirted as a freshman because the punter over at Bama is a senior, and Chip's not going to mind that at all because he wants to get right to work on the schoolwork. 5 years of school will be good. And that's sports.
Okay, thank you, Tom. On Wall Street, the stock market slipped a bit today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average lost about 5 1/3 points, and decliners led gainers by a 7-6 margin in heavy volume. Close to 180 million shares were traded today. And now here's a look at stock activity of local interest.
Today's stock report has been brought to you by Shearson Lehman Hutton. Minds over money. Call Shearson Lehman Hutton today for your investment counseling.
Just a reminder that every week in TV Guide, you'll find something colorful. For example, an irreverent look at the best and worst of the past TV season. Read about it in the new TV Guide.
We are family.
The Old Scramble is on!
Southern Old Family.
Everybody's scrambling to score a great deal from the Southern Olds family. Take a ride now in the car that bears the #1 selling nameplate in the world today. Cutlass is Supreme, Sierra, Calais. Find a super deal on all Oldsmobile. Scramble to your Olds dealer this month and shoot for a great deal!
Hopkins, Kendrick Myers, Triangle.
Going on now.
Sowell Tractor has it all from big to small, and this Saturday they're having an auction of all kinds of used lawn, garden, and farm machinery from a season of great trade-ins. The excitement gets underway at 10 a.m., and you can join Jim Wilson for the buy of a lifetime. Most in fine working order. Some may need repairs, but you name the price. Some new items will be included with minimum bids. Remember that Sowell Tractor on Highway 77 just north of the Panama City Mall. Don't miss this opportunity to save hundreds of dollars on thousands to be auctioned on Saturday, June 24th at 10 a.m.
At Panama City Mall, over 40 exhibitors will display their finest arts and crafts this Thursday through Sunday. Brought to you by Craftsman's Cove and Panama City Mall.
Question 1002.
All right,
Where's the rain?
Let's show you on radar. Here we go. You can see Panama City on the left-hand side of your screen. There's the rain. A nice size shower near Tallahassee and Valdosta, Georgia. That's the place you need to be tonight.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us. Have a good weekend. Rick Hurst will be back at 10 with more news. Have a good evening.
The response has been tremendous to the recent savings offered by Cook Whitehead's used car department, and we're going to continue to pass those savings on to you. Now, this 84 Cutlass Olds Bronx, $66.95, or this 84 Pontiac Parisienne, savings at $59.95. This 1983 Thunderbird Turbo Coupe, 5-speed, $54.95. Just a few of over $1 million in the used car inventory at Cook Whitehead's Used Car Center, 15th Street, Panama City.
TV7, WJHG, and Riley Marketing Incorporated presents the brand new updated city map of Panama City with Callaway, Cedar Grove, Lynn Haven, Panama City Beach, Parker, and Springfield, including a hurricane awareness map. Stop in and get your free copy today while the supply lasts. Here's a list of just a few of the leading merchants with maps available.
of truck do you want in your garage? One that's Ram tough? One that's the heartbeat of America? Or would you rather get yanged by the end with a Japanese truck? No, you want America's best-selling truck, Ford Ranger.
Plus, your Southern City Ford dealers give you more, like $13.90 in option savings, including air conditioning, stereo, and $500 cash back from Ford.
This isn't any old truck. It's a Ford.
And with $13.90 in free options,
Maybe you'll want two in your garage.
see your Southern City Ford dealer now.